Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's the Phantom Frequency Network, y'all. Phantom Frequency Entertainment. It's so good to be back with y'all, doing what we love doing the most, man. Talking nerdy with you guys. I know it's been a minute, but been busy working on the album I was telling you guys about on the last Phantom Frequency Show episode. You know what I'm saying? Your boys out here cooking up on the ones and twos, all of that. About to get back on the mic, doing that vocal talent I love to do so much. So just been grinding, man, working on that 9 to 5 shit. Had a very stressful past week, but we're here to have some fun, guys. And let's forget about all that and get into the topic. What you saw in the thumbnail, man. It's another installment of 5 on It, where we do a top 5 ranking or whatever topic we decide to talk about in that particular date and time. And today we're going to discuss my personal favorite 5 MCU shows. We're not including the 6th official MCU show, live action or otherwise, which is Moon Knight, which just dropped its 3rd episode, I believe, at the time of this recording. So by the time you see this, we're going to be looking forward to that episode 4 of Moon Knight. We got a review coming up soon for that. But yeah, man, I figured this would be the best time, if any, to do a top 5 ranking of my, or do a 5 from least coolest to most coolest of all the MCU series thus far, man. So with no further ado, enough of the intro. Click subscribe, click like. Let's get into this thing, man. And coming in at number 5 is gonna be What If, the first animated MCU canon show. And what else can I say to start this thing off except for the main, my thesis statement of this series? Great idea, for the most part, awesome execution, one of the most unique corners of the MCU that really showed the potential of the multiverse, but fell short a few times throughout the series with inconsistent logic. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that just contradicts each other a little too much, and a couple episodes that feel a little bit too inconsequential to the overall narrative and the overall thing that we're building towards with this crazy version of Ultron in this series. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet. He's running rampant, which is something we all wanted to see and something we all had an interest from the comics. You know what I'm saying? All those people that know that iconic cover know what I'm talking about. But some of the logic with that, like him breaking into where the Watcher is and him being able to use them in different variant universes to our own, completely goes against the logic of the Infinity Stones in the MCU canon, which is they don't work outside of their universe, and that goes all the way back to the comic books. So that was just one of the biggest contradictions right there, which I just don't understand how the writers of the show wrote that, passed that on to Kevin Feige and the team, and they didn't be like, hey, bruh, he's not really able to do that. Don't quite get why they didn't change that one element of it, but anyway. And there's a couple episodes throughout the series that I don't think were necessarily the strongest compared to all the rest of the episodes, and those 2 episodes being the premiere episode with Agent Carter and the Can't Hardly Wait American Pie version of Thor, Thor Ragnarok, of the Thor episode, which I believe was episode 7 or something like that. And overall, I really dug those episodes for the most part, but I just thought that the Thor episode, for example, was too inconsequential to what was actually going on in the series. And until the very end of it, you don't really get any development there. There's no stakes. He's just having a party and trying to clean it up before his mom realizes that he went down to our realm to have a party. It's like, it's a fun idea. I enjoyed it. I love the Frost Giant Loki being like best friends with him and everything, like they're close-knit homies and all that shit. I loved all the fun antics of the series. Of the episode. You know, Searchers over here fucking hitting on the Statue of Liberty. It's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, I know that there was like a bunch of dark episodes, like back to back to back with 4 through 6, Marvel Zombies, Doctor Strange fucking up the entire universe he lived in, all that crazy stuff. But I just thought there was a way to give us some levity with still giving us some of that badassery and some more direct tie-ins to the plot, not just in the last minute of the episode. You know what I'm saying? So one thing with the Agent Carter episode, I thought they stayed way too close to the format of the first Avenger with Steve Rogers and his whole story. I loved Agent Carter in it, and getting to see Haley Atwell come back to voice Peggy Carter. Awesome stuff, man. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't like how the episode stays so damn close to the movie, where I do kind of tip the hat to them because they got to do a few differences and kind of swerve and zig and zag at certain points when you thought they were going to do the other thing. But overall, I just thought they should have strayed away from the format of the movie a bit more and really hone into what makes Peggy Peggy and what differentiates her version of Captain Britain, I guess you would say, to Steve's Captain America. But I love getting to see him in the Hydra Stomper. A lot of fun, man. Don't get me wrong. But overall, it just doesn't quite deliver. It's like most of the other episodes, like episode 4 with Doctor Strange, Marvel Zombies, episode 2 with T'Challa. It's just amazing stuff in the series, but overall, I just don't think it comes together the best. But the finale is pretty damn fun. So overall, What If is a good time, but I got to put it at number 5 if I'm going to be honest about my feelings about it. But rolling into number 4 might be a bit of a controversial pick, compared to a lot of the consensus online over the last year or so it's been out. But WandaVision, man, I got to put it at number 4. And once again, don't get me wrong. Scarlet Witch is one of my favorite characters of the MCU. If I had a top 10 ranking, she's going to be in that ranking for sure. I love Scarlet Witch. I love Elizabeth Olsen's take on the character. I've always loved that character since X-Men 90s cartoons and comics, man. Always loved Wanda Maximoff as a character. Overall, she is so damn interesting. And the one main big positive, or the two big positives of this show existing in general, regardless of, all the other stuff you could obviously point at, I really believe that this gave birth to the Scarlet Witch version that we wanted to see with Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda the entire time in the MCU since Age of Ultron, man. For the last 6 years when we had seen this series, 2021, leading up to that moment with WandaVision and getting to the finale episode and getting her to see, or us getting to see her become the Scarlet Witch, Chaos Magic, the Darkhold, all that stuff, man. The runes, everything coming to fruition in such a great and powerful way through the storytelling done throughout the whole season, man. And I gotta say, I love Wanda's arc and kind of being almost the villain of her own story here. You know what I'm saying? And kind of the unethical, unmoral decisions that she made with Sunview or whatever the hell it's called and all that stuff. And what she did to those people, trapping them there. And bringing Vision back to life and bending the rules, you know what I'm saying? I just love how in grief and in pain and in love, persevering, Vision quote right there, she went down the dark path, man. Full Anakin Skywalker stuff, but so much more well written. I love all that, you know what I'm saying? And her whole dynamic and love story and the whole thing with her having twin kids with Vision, the love of her life, and getting to bring him back and righting that wrong in her eyes. I love that, man. I recently lost a few people in my life that I love and care about the most. You know what I'm saying? And I would give anything to have them back. You know what I mean? But you got to move on. But at the same time, Wanda's lost everybody she's ever cared about during her entire life, all the way from her childhood watching I Love Lucy with Pietro, seeing her parents get blown up. You know what I mean? Just crazy stuff. And the whole way that they canonized, witchcraft, the Nexus beings and all that, and getting to make Wanda a true blue mutant in that flashback sequence. I love that stuff, man. And just the overall trippy Twilight Zone vibe of the first few episodes, I did enjoy quite a bit. Now, I will say, episode 1 threw me for a loop, man. That pilot was on some shit right there. But with episode 2, I started to kind of see where they were going with it. And from episode 3 to like 4 or 5, I was loving it. All the mystery, the water cooler talk every single week. Everyone's speculating what the hell's going to happen. We weren't even doing this podcast or this show yet. You know what I mean? This channel didn't exist. We were just out there like y'all, just wondering what the hell was going to happen with this thing. And I just love how each episode every week was a different era in TV sitcoms. That was a brilliant idea in and of itself, you know what I'm saying? And the whole setup to the mystery, chef's kiss, so well done. And don't you think I'm going to get through this thing without mentioning one of my favorite new side characters in Marvel, and hopefully one of the coolest villains, and getting her own series, Agatha Harkness, man. Catherine Hahn, one of my literal all-time favorite actresses in Hollywood right now. I have loved that woman ever since I seen her in like middle school during Step Brothers, you know what I'm saying? I love this woman, and I love getting to see her on this type of platform, getting this type of shine and all these eyes on her performance, and getting to see her do her thing. And I love the whole mystery and the push and pull and the back and forth between us as the audience wondering, is she behind it? Is she Mephisto? You know what I mean? Everyone's speculating up the ass, you know, and it did turn out to be her. It was Agatha all along, you know what I mean? And I don't care what anybody says, that track is a banger, you know what I'm saying? That shit slaps, bro, like the kids say. Throw that shit on, man. And like I've discussed with the boys on the show before, I ain't saying she needs to have her own series, but if you're going to give me other side characters that haven't had a chance to shine that I've enjoyed in Phase 4 so far, other than Yelena and other than Monica Rambeau, I'm going to have to say, I'm down to see more Agatha, and if we're going to get a whole series on that, sign me the fuck up, man. I love Catherine Hahn. I'll take any excuse to watch her for hours on end, so let's get it, man. But one of my main negatives also of this series that does drag it down just a little bit from how great it could have been was that the finale kind of dropped the ball on kind of delivering on a few of the character arcs. Monica Rambeau is like barely in this thing. The whole Ralph Boner thing with Evan Peters looking like Quicksilver and that whole swerve was not clever enough to really be worth the swerve. So wasn't really feeling that. Didn't think it was really that funny either. Haha, Boner, we get it. I like dick jokes just as much as anyone else, but you got to be a little more clever or a little more silly about it to really get the joke over. You know what I'm saying? And where the hell was Kat Dennings' character? Where the hell was she at? She's over here decoding the whole mystery the whole time. You know what I'm saying? She's like Jake Gyllenhaal's character in Zodiac, figuring everything out. And all of a sudden, she's nowhere to be found. All that footage got left on the cutting room floor, and it just completely makes the episode a little bit janky in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? But the fight between Wanda and Agatha, freaking awesome. Love getting to see the witchcraft stuff really come to life, runes, all that good jazz, and getting to see the tease of where Wanda could be going as the Scarlet Witch into Multiverse of Madness and beyond in Phase 4 and who knows how long. I just can't wait to see where she's going to go as a character. I really enjoy the series, but I got to put it at number 4, man. Number 4 is where it's got to be. We're going to go into number 3, man. Top 3, baby. And we're going to be talking about right here at 3, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Enjoyed the hell out of this, man. And as you guys know, due to, you know, some of the political and sociological and just the economical and all those issues it was bringing up in that show, hit me in the feels, man. It was tailor-made for me. And I've always loved Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes as characters in the MCU. So getting to see them team up, buddy cop 48 Hours style, and do their thing, a little Rush Hour without the Asian stereotypes, let's go, man. Like, sign me up. And I gotta say, I enjoyed the hell out of that series, man. It was so much fun from beginning to end. Never a boring episode, so that's the one thing I would give it over WandaVision. You know what I'm saying? But in general, with the series, it's really well done. The action is freaking awesome, and you can't tell this ain't no movie budget, just like the other series, man. But this one might have the best action out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? And I just love that whole opening, like, flight sequence and battle with Sam Wilson when he's still the Falcon, going through those canyons at the Grand Canyon or whatever the hell. No, not the Grand Canyon. There was somewhere other country or some shit. But wherever he was at. But when he was fighting against Batroc or whatever, Batroc the Leaper, I love that whole sequence, man. It had me on the edge of my seat. So well done, man. And all the action overall was just dope as hell the whole time. Love the reintroduction of Zemo, one of my favorite side characters / villains of the whole series. I'd put him in my top 3, maybe. You know what I'm saying? He is one of the most unique and interesting villains in the MCU. So getting to see him come back and play a little bit of the good guy and kind of get back into this evil side a little bit, you know, playing both sides, if you will. Really love that aspect of the show as well. Love getting to see him throw on the mask, even though it was a bit silly in the moment. it was cool just to get the visual of the true Baron Zemo from the comics in live action form. So that was a lot of fun to see. And I will say the introduction of Kyle, what the hell, man? I'm forgetting his name. John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell. I really enjoyed his character for the most part, and the introduction and the arc that he went on for the most part. But I just think they really dropped the ball at the end there with him in the last episode there, where they kind of redeemed him a little too fast, where he literally murdered somebody with Cap's shield in front of, like, the world. You know what I mean? People getting pissed about the Will Smith slap. This is that times 100, man. He beheaded somebody pretty much. Come on now. You can't redeem him that damn fast. I was like, come on, an episode ago? Jeesh. But that fight with him, Sam, and Bucky, great stuff, man. One of the best three-way battles since Civil War. Not quite as good as that, but damn close. You know what I mean? So, really loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier overall. The introduction of Isaiah Bradley and his nephew as well, that could go on to be the Patriot, the first Black Cap, man. You gotta love that. Love the powerful acting from Carl Lumley. That man deserved an Emmy nomination or something. I love that character. Love the whole full circle thing of him kind of getting a little bit of that faith back in humanity and in America as a country when it comes to those race relations and things of the past and, starting a new chapter. And getting to see Sam Wilson step up and be Black Cap today in the 2020s, you know what I'm saying? 2025 in their world, or 24 or something like that. But you know what I mean. It was just really powerful and dope to see the Sam Wilson version of Captain America come to life, wings and all. Great debate and conversation he had with those politicians in the last episode there. I loved all of that. The whole thing with him, his sister, and the family struggle, trying to get those funds to keep things going and keep the legacy of their family alive. All that stuff really rang true in the series. And I love Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's why it's going to be in my top 3 for quite some time, I am sure. Really love the hell out of that series, man. It's fun. I just think the ending, like WandaVision in a way, drops a few things. The Flag Smashers don't come together with their arc and everything like that. So, gotta put it at number 3, you know what I mean? But it is time for numero dos, you know what I'm saying? Hawkeye coming in at number 2, man. Bullseye, you know what I mean? And here's the thing. If you'd have asked me over a year ago when they just announced these things to come out, is Hawkeye gonna be my second favorite series? I'd have told you probably not, but I'm gonna dig it. Hell nah, man. I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of it from start to end. I loved every episode of the series pretty much, man. Yelena Belova's reintroduction was so damn fun, so damn well written, and so damn well executed. I absolutely love what Florence Pugh is doing with that character. She's awesome. And getting to see Clint Barton play a few new shades of the character with the guilt, with the trauma, and with the guilt that he feels over what he did as Ronin. I love that whole aspect. And the whole thing of how he really doesn't feel like a true superhero and feels like he doesn't really deserve that credit and that recognition and that kind of love and admiration from the public. I loved all of that too. It's just great to see, these larger-than-life characters from fiction really get to be humanized in these series, man. And I think that with Hawkeye, it makes the most sense almost more than anybody, right? In the whole MCU anyway, and getting to see the introduction of Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, I knew her casting was spot on from the moment they said it, and she nailed it. I loved her whole wide-eyed, over-optimistic, way too hyped up approach to being a superhero and playing this character, you know what I'm saying? It makes sense. You're always hungry and optimistic when you're young like that, especially her being like 21, 22 or something. She doesn't realize the stakes and the cost of what it takes to lead this lifestyle of being a hero, but she does learn that shit for real by the end of the series, learning that her mother has been in on this mob shit with Kingpin from the beginning. Introduction to him we'll get into in a moment. And the whole thing with her father being corrupt or not corrupt, but kind of being dirty in a way, and owing the Kingpin, which put a whole debt onto her family. And now her mother profiting off of this and paying the Kingpin back at the same time, it's just dirty money, man. Blood on the hands of the family. And she's like, oh my gosh, my mom is the villain. My mom's who we've been looking for. She hired Yelena to kill you, Clint. You know what I'm saying? But the whole dynamic of her and Clint's relationship as partners building out throughout this thing, from him not wanting anything to do with her and trying to get the hell out of there to get home for Christmas, all the way to them being full-fledged partners and really having each other's back. I just absolutely loved their dynamic throughout the whole series, man. You know, and I loved getting to see Vera Farmiga in the MCU. Never thought I'd say that sentence. So that was cool. She was all right. I don't think she was necessarily like amazing as this character, but I don't think this character was written to really chew up scenery or really take that much attention away from the other characters in the series. She was meant to be a little more straight-laced, kind of that just kind of typical type character you're used to seeing in these crime type espionage-ish type things, you know what I mean? And getting into that introduction of Kingpin being official in the MCU with Vincent D'Onofrio, awesomeness, man. And I'm telling you, that man ain't dead, bro. Wait till you get that Echo series, man. He totally deflected that shot, and that's exactly where the series is picking up. I'm calling it now. Bets are on. $5. But anyway, but for reals, man, I loved getting to see Vincent D'Onofrio come back and be that character and do all that comic book lore we wanted to see with him going against Hawkeye and him being in the shadows and then him coming into contact and being a almost father figure to Echo as a character. And the introduction of her, Echo, she was awesome too. And I really dug her introduction and her whole vibe the whole time. Her fighting skill and prowess was so damn impressive and so well done and believable, you know what I mean? And I just thought that by the end, they kind of dropped the ball on that character slightly, and I don't think she got enough time to shine in the last couple episodes and really bring her arc full circle and be as powerful as it could have been, but I still love the introduction of Echo and can't wait to see more with that character. And I love seeing characters with these type of disabilities in these type of stories because to me, it's just so inspiring and so unique. You never know what to expect, and just the lengths and the incredible things that they can do with this kind of condition and with this kind of health things holding them back when I can't even do this shit and I'm completely fully functional. So damn inspiring, so damn fun to watch. I love that stuff, man. And not trying to be savior or nothing or anything like that. We're not social justice over here, man. I'm just pointing out some cool stuff that I like to see. You know what I'm saying? Politics are not involved in Fandom Frequency, y'all. I promise. But it's just awesome stuff, man. I love Hawkeye from top to bottom, man. Very few negatives with this series overall, so I gotta put it at number 2. But y'all already know what number 1 is. Process of elimination, man. Loki, baby. This series was made for me, man. I loved it. Every episode was awesome. Everything tied in perfectly. Loki's arc as a character overall in the MCU, pre-Phase 4, Phase 1 through 3, Infinity Saga, amazing. And then getting to see him come through in Phase 4 with this series, leading this thing, and getting to get into the TVA and all the variant multiverse madness that's going on in this series is just so awesome. Tom Hiddleston didn't miss a beat. This man was born to play this character till he dies, man. I'm telling you, man. I want Loki to be around forever. And just the introduction to all the characters, almost pretty much, except one in my mind, was awesome. Agent B-52, I believe her name was. Agent Mobius by Owen Wilson. Come on, man. Wow. Fucking awesome. Give him a fucking Sea-Doo already, man. Bring him back to the 90s, man. Point Break up in this bitch, man. I want justice for Mobius. I want him on that Sea-Doo. But hopefully season 2 we get that, man. Loved his introduction. Loved his arc. Loved everything with that. And him and Loki's dynamic. So well done and believable. I knew Owen Wilson was going to kill it. I knew it from day one. Never knew of the character, or heard of the character, previously from the comics. But really knew that he could play a really fun character in a wacky show like this, man. The introduction of Sylvie, you know what I mean? That, I can't remember, Sophia DiMartino, I believe her name is. That actress nailed it, man. She was so similar to our boy Loki, but so different at the same time. I loved her storyline, loved her performance and physicality in the role. Sophia DiMartino better be in the MCU for at least the next 5 years. I love that woman in this thing, man. I love that character. One of my, I would probably put her in a top 5 favorite character, like Phase 4, side characters, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Love her, man. Yelena, Monica Rambeau, Agent Mobius, Sylvie. Love it, man. That's like my list right there. And she's on it. And I loved her whole arc and the way that she pretty much opened up the multiverse and fucked up all the plans that he who knows all, or all that knows everything, the variant of Kang the Conqueror. You know who I'm talking about, Jonathan Majors. But his character, his whole thing that he's been planning the whole time with the TVA, controlling the timeline, sacred timeline, and all this other shit, multiversal war, all that crazy madness is completely opened up because fucking Sylvie can't trust anybody, man. She just can't trust anyone. And it's so damn believable coming from a Loki. You know what I'm saying? Can't trust him. Can't learn to trust others either. It's just great stuff. And the whole poetic way that comes together is just awesome. And that cliffhanger at the end of season 1 right there with the freaking Planet of the Apes-esque ending with the Kang the Conqueror statue right there. Well, much better than the damn Tim Burton shit. You heard it here first. But, man, that was so awesome. And just the look on Loki's face when he's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, this series, man, so funny, so heartfelt, badass action, completely unique in the MCU lore as a whole. One of the best things the MCU is ever going to do in my mind. And I absolutely love this show. I love that series. I can't wait for season 2. We better get it next year, man, or I'm going to go riot in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm going wild in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Running. But let me know before you run out of this video, what's your top 5 ranking? What's your ranking of all the MCU shows so far? No Moon Knight included because it ain't done yet. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. And I wanted to say real quick, man, we appreciate each and every one of you listeners/watchers, supporters of the show. You guys mean the world to us, and we appreciate every comment, every like. Just keep it coming, guys. We want to build out this community. We have a lot of really dope plans for the near future, man. From 2022 going into the next year and beyond. We have so many great ideas, and hopefully you guys will be along for the ride with us as we reach this next level, baby. Phase 2 is coming. We ain't quite there yet. The Avengers haven't assembled yet, but I promise they will soon. It's been a lot of great fun doing this thing, man. And we just want to say, make sure you stay safe out there, guys. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, guys, stay tuned, don't sleep, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.